Have you ever clicked a button that says Get Started Free and landed on a page asking you to pay? That's what Bitwarden does. It's a password manager, and this right here is where most new users give up. So I redesigned the whole thing by hand. One promise, one button, no tricks. Then I gave the exact same brief to an AI and had it redesign everything too. Me versus AI. And honestly, the result wasn't what I expected. Bitwarden's got a tricky job. The same front door has to work for someone protecting their Netflix login and for an IT director rolling this out to 500 people. That's where a lot of onboarding quietly falls apart. So I ran a little experiment. First, I'll redesign the flow the normal way. Research, wireframes, my own judgment, no AI at all. Then I would hand the same problem to Claude and the design tool Paper and see what it came up with. If you ever wonder where AI generally fits into a real design process, this is that, start to finish. Let's start with what we are fixing. The page you just saw, on the personal tab, your choices are premium and families. The free plan you were promised isn't even here. And the biggest button says Create Premium Account. So the first thing a new user feels is a bait and switch. You haven't seen a single screen of the actual product yet, and you are already doing math on annual billing across 3 tiers. That is a lot of work for zero payoff. Then, it asks you to install the browser extension before you have any reason to want it. And installing an extension is a big ask. You leave the flow, go to the Chrome store, grant permissions, pin it to your toolbar. And if you click Add it later, it warns you can't autofill without the extension. After that, a tooltip tour that tells you what to do instead of letting you do it, and an empty word with a 1 of 3 steps complete checklist. Importing your passwords, the one thing that actually delivers value, is in there as step 2. But by this point, it's just a line item on an empty dashboard, left for you to figure it out on your own, after the flow has already asked you for everything else. So the whole flow is backwards. It asks for money, then trust, then commitment, and it leaves the payoff as homework. Okay, here's my version, built by hand, no AI. First thing I did was get rid of the pricing war. Instead of pick a plan, I asked one simple question. How are you planning to use this? Just for me, for my family, or with my company? You're not buying anything yet. You are just telling me who you are. Server region used to be a cramped little radio button. I turned it into 2 clear cards, and I actually spell out the difference. Both options are GDPR compliant. One stores your data in the US, the other keeps it in the EU. No jargon, no guessing which one you are supposed to pick. And if it looks like you are already using Chrome's password manager, I say so, and I clear the next step around that instead of making you figure it out. Then, the big structural change. Import comes before the extension. Importing your passwords is the moment you feel the value. The extension is the heavy lift, so I flipped the order. Now, I didn't get everything right. I still made people verify their email before they could keep going. Enter your email address, go check your inbox, come back. At the time, it honestly didn't occur to me to question that. Hold on to that because it comes back. That's my homework. Now let's bring in the AI. I dropped all 19 original screens into Paper, connected Claude to it, and gave it the same goals I would set for myself. Lead with value, personalize early, cut the friction, show instead of tell, and end with a habit. A couple of minutes later, it came back with 3 fully formed directions. And they weren't just variations on one idea. They were 3 genuinely different strategies. Option A was the value first story. It opens with a bridge check. You type in your email, it shows you what hackers already know about you, and then it helps you fix it. The hook is fear. Option B was the do it now sandbox. A working password generator before you even make an account. So your time to value is basically 0, and then you sign up to keep what you meet. Option C was the concierge path. A quick who are we protecting question that tailors the rest of the flow. And this is where the real work starts. Here's how I evaluate the 3 options. Option A is a strong hook, but it's a trap. For a company whose whole pitch is privacy, asking a total stranger to hand over their email so you can show them their breaches feels invasive. You are asking for trust before you have given them any reason to trust you. So, no. I actually love option B for regular consumers. But think back to that IT director with 500 seats. He doesn't want to generate a password on your homepage. He wants compliance and control. So it's not the front door. It's a great landing page for a different campaign. Option C is the one. It's the only direction that works for both ends of the market without alienating either. You ask one low pressure question and everyone ends up in the right place. And remember that email verification I left in? This is where the AI actually caught me. It pushed back and said, don't block people on that. Let them set their master password first and verify whenever they want. And it was right. I've just accepted verification as a required step and never thought to question it. That's one point for the AI. But here's what it missed, and honestly what my first draft missed too. I would split people into just me, my family, or my company. The problem is a freelancer or solopreneur, someone who is a business of one, doesn't fit any of those. My company sounds like Teams, an SSO, and a 5-seat minimum they'll never touch. So there's this whole group with nowhere to land. That's the call I made. I added a third path. Solo business built for exactly those people. Then I rebuilt the plan screen into 2 columns. The recommended plan on one side, sign up on the other, and I resequence the whole thing so we get to know who you are before we ever ask for your email. So here's where it all lands. It's fewer screens than we started with, and every one of them earns its spot. My favorite detail is the import. You click Start Importing, and Chrome's export page opens in a new tab. By the time you switch back, the screen has really changed. It's a drop zone now, waiting for the file you just downloaded. It just picks up right where you left off. And this is the payoff, the aha moment. The second your passwords come in, Bitwarden shows you which ones are weak or reused, flagged and ready to fix. You didn't just move your passwords over. You just found out which one were putting you at risk. That's the kind of value you can actually see. And now finally, we bring out the extension. You have felt the payoff, so the big ask makes sense. And it closes the loop. Install it, and from then on, every login just happens automatically. That's the habit. So, me versus AI, who won? Honestly, neither. And that's the whole point. The AI handed me 3 strong directions in a couple of minutes, and it caught at least one thing I would left too rigid. That's genuinely impressive. But it couldn't tell me which of those directions actually fit a product that has to serve both a family and a 500-person company. It didn't catch the freelancer who is a business of one. And it didn't know to hold the extension back until people had actually felt what Bitwarden does for them. Every one of those was a judgment call about people, about context, and about timing. AI will hand you 3 good ideas before lunch, but generating ideas and picking the right one are 2 different jobs. The designer is still the editor, the one who decides what actually ships and why. So if you take one thing away from this, take the 5 questions I kept asking myself at every screen. Lead with value, not features. Personalize early, so ask who someone is before you shape the flow around them. Cut every bit of friction you can. Show people the value, don't just tell them about it. And end with a habit, so coming back feels automatic. AI proposes, the designer decides. The full interactive prototype and my design notes are in the description, so go take them apart. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.